Hello brilliant 3D jewelry channel, welcome to this new tutorial. Today I'm going to design a cocktail ring with a big peridot, and I will also be using 2mm diamonds. The size of the ring will be a size 8 American. My name is Damien Rohrbach, the software is Blender 4.3. Let's get started. So when I look at this, I already feel bored. Not enough shapes, not enough colors. So I'm going to pan more gemstones from my favorite library. Now we have a trillion amethyst and a pure citrine quartz. This is a much better motivation. Good, now I'm going to take the size reference. I'm going to make a copy and I'm going to make a solid of it just like this. The ring is going to be yellow gold. And what I want to do first is to distribute the diamonds as a halo around the gemstones. I'm going to give a slight angle to the diamond. Here I'm going to bring a thickness reference. Degrees, let's go 24 degrees right here. Now I'm going to distribute the diamonds, not too close to the gems. Now let's follow the citrine quartz. Okay, this gem, I want it to be at the tip. Now let's go the other way. Let's go to the amethyst with a smile, please, with a smile. And I need to focus. And my cats, they smile for me. My cats are just around me here. Keep distributing the diamonds. Some side view from time to time. This is just a quick rough distribution of the halo for the diamonds. You want to be sure that your idea has some future. So this is a general view of the halo of diamonds. It's looking great. And now we need bevels for the main gemstones. So let's start with the bevel on the central gemstone. Let's make a copy, the z-axis. Let's make it gold at once. Let's go to edit mode. X-rays are turned on. Let's select this level. Invert, delete. Scale on the z-axis to 0. And we're going to start here. Now let's extrude on the z-axis. So now let's give the bevel enough height. I want to manufacture this jewel, so we need enough metal for the settings, obviously. And let's start designing. I want a double bevel with a small decorative ridge right here. Now, let's take all the diamonds and bring them higher here. So let's extrude and extrude there. Obviously, the diamonds are going to go black because they need cutters. Now here I'm going to close the bevel. I'm going to extrude, scale. Now let's select the inside here and close with bridge edge loops. And now I'm going to copy this vertex and separate them. And I'm going to create the support for the gem on the inside. Check that the support doesn't touch the gem. Must be close, but not touching. Select everything, extrude on the z-axis, minus 0.85. Now here I can adapt the position of these diamonds, readapt the position of the diamonds as needed. Now that you have an exact bevel to follow. Good, take these diamonds, copy them, join them, apply the modifiers. These are oval cutters. 1. Give them a solidify and a remesh modifier. Then a boolean modifier. Fast, remove the cutters, remove them from rendering. Check that the boolean is working. So that's good for now for the oval. And we're going to make the other bevels. So now let's take the pear shape. Make a copy, make it gold, go to edit mode, same process, like this, invert that, erase, scale to 0 on the z-axis, and we're going to start here. Let's extrude on the z-axis. Okay, so I'm going to extrude. For now, don't worry about the distance between bevels and gems and all of that. We'll be tweaking this soon enough. Close with bridge edge loops and be happy. Here I'm going to copy this, extract it. Remember to make the support for the gem. Now here I'm going to move slightly the pear-shaped gem, bevel, and halo diamonds of the pear to adapt the space. Now it's a pretty good time. Now that we moved, adapt the position of the diamonds of the pear. We'll come back to the cutters a bit later. You know how to make them now. And smile. I won't be smiling much, I guess. This is way too serious business to be smiling. Now, because of the shape here, it's important to adapt the space, especially for the pier shape, and adapt the outside. All right, the pier bevel is done. Guess what? The trillion needs a bevel. Copy the trillion. Gold. Go to edit mode. Select this level. Invert. Delete. Select again. Scale Z to 0. Come to the edge here and rise on the Z axis. Extrude. Scale. Check the Z position. Extrude on the Z axis. Extrude. Scale. Small ridge. I know you know the process, but gotta have some fun. Tutorial making. Extrude. Scale. Keep extruding. Scaling. Moving. Now let's find the inside. Bridge edge loops and close this. Copy. Separate. Okay, extrude on the z-axis minus 0.85. Okay, so now here again, let's select the bevel, the amethyst, the diamonds, the support, readapt the position. That's going to be here. We can fit one more diamond. Good. Here, let's readapt the position of the diamonds. Now that we have our precise bevel, and we know where to go with the diamonds, check the position, the orientation. Good. Here I'm taking the inside as a reference position. And again, because of the special shape, I need to work on the outside border to fit the diamonds properly according to my design. So the bevels are mostly ready. The halo distribution of the diamonds is looking good for now. We have to make prongs, we have to make the cutters. Let's keep working. So now that I have some structure thanks to the gems, what I want to do is start laying down some layout for the body of the ring. So let's come to the top view. I'm going to add a mesh plane and come closer to the size of the finger, somewhere here. Gold material and modifier, obviously the shrink wrap modifier. Near a surface, yes. And I'm going to put a bevel modifier and it's a division surface modifier right from the start. Now here, let's do Control A, all transforms. And I'm going to add a mirror modifier right at the beginning on the x-axis and smile. This vertex to 0. Don't forget the x-rays. So now I'm going to go around the finger to start with something. And obviously that's way too straight. Let's turn on the proportional editing right there and grab on the y-axis. So instead of this fall off, okay, this one I like. Okay, this one's pretty good. Linear is pretty interesting too. Remove proportional editing. I'm going to take this. I'm going to copy it on the y-axis. So I'm going to flip it on the z-axis by -1. And now I need to readapt somewhere here. And I'm going to scale it. Okay, now I'm going to work with this side. Okay, this is looking good for now. I want another ring here. So scale on the y-axis to 0 down there. Okay, let's start with this. So let's extrude right there. Okay, so we have this for now. Okay, so nobody said that things have to be the same all the time. We're going to make a shape here. Okay, here also. So let's keep working on the shape of the body of the ring. So let's call this body ring, size 8. I'm going to make a copy of the body. Okay, so I'm going to apply the shrink wrap and I'm going to apply the solidify modifier. Good. So now what I can do, let's go to edit mode. By example, I'm going to select this edge and put a mean bevel weight to 1. Now, in the bevel modifier, the limit method can be the weight. So what's going to happen is that with a weight of 1, this edge is going to stay sharper. So now I can play with this to have a better variety of shapes. Okay, here on the outside, I want to keep it sharp. Okay, so for now I have this. Let me adapt the distance so that these clearly touch. So let's be sure to have a nice solid contact. Now, see this weird line where the rings are joining? This is because there's a face right there at the middle of the joint. So let's delete only the face. Okay, now let's start with another simple element that we can already add and that we need. Let's take the shape of the gem here. Let's make a copy on the z-axis. I'm going to keep only this level and erase the rest. Okay, let's come here. Don't need the boolean right there. Check the modifiers, but I need a shrink wrap modifier to the surface of the ring right there. And okay, now in edit mode, we're going to work. Let's extrude and scale here. We're going to need a solidify modifier. Let's put the shrink wrap first, then the solidify, then the bevel, then the subdivision surface. So solidify offset 1, thickness 1.5. Let's take a guess. Okay, we need to select everything and flip the normals. Okay, we have this. So let's make it smaller and adapt the position smaller in between the rings. For the shrink wrap, let's go with project on the z-axis negative. Let me be sure that we are touching. Let's adapt this shape. The interior here needs to have another proportion. Okay, I like this shape. Now, let's do the same with the other. So let's copy the bevel on the z-axis. Let's keep this shape. Side view, let's come here. Let's extrude and scale to start with something. Now here, select the other base and copy the modifiers here. Go to edit mode, recalculate the normals and flip them. Then here we need to scale on the x-axis and we need to reset the scale. Now from here, this proportion here, let's adapt so it fits in between. Check that the contact is the way you like it. This is brilliant. We still have another shape to make. Take a deep breath, make a copy on the z-axis, go to edit mode, select the top, delete the rest, scale it, extrude scale. Now come around here, copy the modifiers from the other shape, reset the scale, even out the normals and flip, check the contacts. Okay, so these are the bases for each gemstone, and this is going to help shaping the contact levels between the top gems and the body of the ring.
Okay, great. Let's start making these connections. We can start with a busy curve on the side view, aligned to the view, centered on X. Let's scale this here. Let's start easy at the front. Give the curve a better resolution. Now let's make a profile. So for pear-shaped gemstones, we like V prongs. So busy circle. Let's go to edit mode. Let's subdivide. Let's grab this here. Let's scale this there and let's scale this accordingly. This is pretty neat. V prong profile. The curve we've just made. Go to geometry, object bevel, the profile, fill caps, gold material. Now obviously the orientation, so let's go to edit mode, select everything and adapt the tilt 90 degrees. Now about the scale. Okay, let's go at 2 by 2. Here we can make it a bit smaller down there, and this is more a design question now. So adapt the size as needed. Work on the curves to get the size and scale you like. Now I'm going to make a copy. So select everything, Shift D on the y-axis, scale on the y-axis, -1, flip this. You can use the same shape at the other tip. Now from here we need something on the side. Okay, so let's select this curve. Let's make another copy. 90 degrees on the z-axis. Let's adapt the endings. Let's take this curve. Let's separate it with P. Now let's add a mirror modifier on the x-axis based on the central gemstone. And now in edit mode, I'm going to add similar supports where needed. So first, find a distribution that you like for these supports. This is maybe not the final shape. Just keep working on the design. So now it's important that we clean these intersection and make the prongs and the cutters for the diamonds before doing anything else. Don't move forward if you have unsolved settings issues. So to do this, I'm going to create a new collection, call it bevels. I'm going to take the bevels, move them to the new collection. Now let's make a copy of the originals and hide the originals. Now let's focus on these intersections. And what I'm going to do first, I'm going to keep only the right side. That's half the work. So we're going to need a mirror modifier, and let's unite these with Control J. They have the same modifiers and the same position, so we can simplify a couple of things. Here, let's select this, cursor to selected. So I'm marking the position of the intersection, and I'm going to erase one of the sides. Now I'm going to erase the other side, and I'm going to start connecting. Now we only have a couple of faces to close. Good, that's the top side. Close the bottom. It's just a couple of faces. We can make the same process between the trillion and the oval. Let's mark the intersection with the 3D cursor, and we can erase the side. Now let's hide the oval and work on the trillion. Here with double G, you slide the vertex. So it's G 2 times. Bring them close, but avoid the overlap. And then again, close with F. It's just a couple of them, so it's really easy to do. This completes the cleaning of the intersections. Good. Now we're going to make the prongs first. So let's add mesh sphere. Let's go at 0.85 for the size. It might change later. Adapt the center, and let's turn on the snap center project. Now I'm going to start distributing the prongs. So here, generate mirror on the x-axis from the central gemstone. At the same time, correct the position of the diamonds as you see fit while making the prong setting on the diamonds in the bevels. If you want, you can readapt the position of the diamond with the snap turned on. But here by example, and keep distributing your prongs. Here we're going to adapt the scale of these prongs and the orientation. Check on the z-axis also. Good. So the prong distribution is completed. Now let's take the diamonds, make a copy of the diamonds, convert to mesh, Control J join, call this cutters, all diamonds. I am going to give them a slight extra thickness with the solidify modifier, then add a remesh modifier. And now let's take the bevel, add a Boolean difference, check the result. If it doesn't work, add a remesh before the Boolean. I'm going to use a fairly small voxel size, the smooth shading, and the exact solver for the Boolean. So we can see that all the positions of the diamonds are perfectly cut. This is great. Now I'm going to convert the result to mesh directly. Remember, we've made a copy of the bevels. For any reason, it's important to keep the original shape. Convert this to mesh and go to the decimate modifier at once. Okay, so here the decimate modifier gives me 1 million faces. I'm going to keep it like this. Use the resolution that makes you happy for whatever technical reason you like. Let's apply the modifier. And now I can start finishing the design of this amazing cocktail ring. Let's go to the top view. Let's add a Bezier circle. And I'm going to create a profile, something like this with a nice resolution. This is going to be profile body number 2. Now let's come front view, add a Bezier curve. I'm going to start here and have a look at what we get with a simple extension. Let's get a better resolution. Object, profile number 2, fill caps, gold material. So here I want to be a bit smaller. Okay, so let's see how it interacts. Work on the details, find the best position for this new element. And so we're going to start creating the outside part of the body of the ring. So don't worry for the parts that sticks out like there. We'll cut them obviously later. And I'm going to copy on the y-axis. Here I can follow the lower structure. It's not necessary to do it like this, but in this occasion it's working wonders. I'm going to add the mirror modifier on the x-axis. So let's go out of edit mode and apply all transforms. Let's go back to edit mode. Now let's copy this again on the y-axis. Let's create this next element. So this is a beginning for this outer shell, but I want to add a couple more connections. Then here we'll add a cube here. So these curves, make a copy out of them, convert to mesh, add modifier boolean, path difference from the cube, call this the cutter. This is how it looks. For now, we still have to focus on developing the body of the ring. Okay, so let's copy the curves, and I'm going to make another set of curves. I think I just want to add something around here to connect with the oval. There, readapt the tilt, and I want the next one to connect from the oval to the pier, and this goes somewhere here. Keep looking from all the angles, check the details. These are ready, so let's make a copy and convert to mesh, add the boolean modifier from the outer cutter. This completes the outer shell of the ring, but there's still one small element I want to add to complete this cocktail ring design. So to do this, let's go to top view. Let's add a Bezier curve. Let's start the tip right there, and let's follow this edge. Let's call it border 1. Now, check the height and make a Control A all transforms. Now we're going to add a mesh sphere, 50-25 for the segments. Gold material, let's go to 0. Now on the sphere, let's add an array. Make them stick together a bit. Let's going to add 20 for now. And now let's add the curve modifier. The curve is the border 1. The spheres are too big. 2 millimeters, that's a bit too big for my taste. Let's go at 1.5, readapt, apply the scale. Here I can move the Bezier curve to adapt the height. Then here on the spheres, let's add a mirror modifier. I'm starting to like this pretty much. And adapt the count. So these are spheres border 1. So now let's copy the border and make the next border. Don't try to make them all at once. It's not necessary. You'll have more control on where the spheres start and end this way. So here, let's copy the spheres. Let's call that one border 2, spheres border 2, and the new border is border number 2. And so we can adapt the count. So you can move the sphere on the x-axis to make them start further away. Here I'm going to need one sphere more and less space between the spheres. Let's adapt this distance. Let's make the third border for the trillion gem. Top view, let's come around here. Okay, here I need to subdivide, come somewhere here. Follow these borders. Okay. Now let's take the spheres. Copy the spheres for the border number 3. Curve object is the new border. Let's also use less space between the spheres. Don't forget to check the origin of your object for the mirror. Apply transforms if necessary. One sphere more, so they perfectly match at the tip. And I am going to add some little spheres on the outer shell. So let me take a sphere. Let's turn on the snap. Now let's add the mirror modifier from the central gem. And I'm going to make small decorations on the arms of the ring to mix a traditional look with a more modern look and have the best of both worlds. Let's add a Bezier circle. Let's make a small pyramid shape. like this. Profile details. Let's add a Bezier curve. I have the snap turned on. So let's start like this. The bevel object is the profile for the details, fill caps, gold material. Obviously adapt the radius. But better than that, we're going to add a taper curve. So add curve, Bezier curve, taper details. Let's go to edit mode. Okay, assign the taper curve here. This is great. Now here I'm going to add very small decorations and work these new details the way you see fit. Don't forget to check the orientation. Add the mirror modifier if you haven't already done so. Keep adapting your design. And I'm going to add these details to the other arms of the ring. And so this completes with these small Bezier curve details the design of this gold cocktail ring with halo diamonds and three fantastic gemstones. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial a lot. My name is Damien Rohrbach. Have a nice day, take care, and see you soon.